Welcome everyone in our online classrooms. Can you guess what is this picture all about? Here one lemon is there which is carrying H plus ion and throwing it in the cup of milk. And the milk starts curdling. Think, what's the reason? Yes, it's due to the acidic behavior of lemon. On this note, let me take you for the new chapter, that is acid and bases. Now, we have studied acids and bases since 7th standard, but in 10th standard we have to study in details. So let's start what are actually acid means. An acid is a substance that releases H plus ion in an aqueous medium. What do you mean by aqueous solutions? When any compound dissolved in water and it releases H plus ion is get dissolved, that solution is called as aqueous. Here we are taking the common example of HCl, that is this compound HCl. When you dissolve in water, it releases Cl minus and H plus. This H plus is very important because if any substance releases H plus ion when dissolved in water, that substance is known as acidic in nature. Now, can you see this picture? In this picture, you can see many H plus ions. Almost all H plus ions are released outside. So when H plus ions are released in a multiple way, it is known as strong acid. Now, in this picture, if you see, here H plus ion is not separated, here H plus ion is not separated, but here and here H plus ions are separated. That means very few H plus ions are separated. So this acid is known as weak acid. Now from this basis, let's see the characteristics of acids. Acid have sour taste. Acids reacts with metals and carbonate to produce gas, and acid contain hydrogen. This second point we are going to study in detail in the next classes. Now the bases. Bases is a substance that release hydroxide ion, that is OH ions, when dissolved in water. For example, if you will take this NaOH, which is intact, when it's dissolved in water, it releases Na plus and OH minus. This OH minus is very important in the case of bases because when OH minus is released out, then only that substance is acidic in nature. Basic in nature, sorry. Now the next one is characteristics of bases. Bases usually are bitter in taste. Bases feel slippery to touch and they contain hydroxide ion. If you can guess the slippery things to touch, find out more substances available at home which are soapy to touch, like soap. Now let's see the common examples, that is hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid. Everywhere if you see, you can get HHH common. And here for bases, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, everywhere you can get OH common. So all acids have H plus common and all bases have OH minus common. Now, as you can see in the picture, you can't test acids or bases because they will give burning sensation. So how you can guess if any solution is provided to you, whether it is acidic or basic? For that we can use some certain substances. These substances are known as indicators. An indicator is a substance that changes its color in acidic and basic medium. An indicator shows one color in acidic medium and another different color in a basic medium, and that's why they are called as indicators. For example, litmus. We are using litmus paper and everyone knows it changes color, blue to red, red to blue. So litmus paper is one of the indicator only. There are three types of indicators: natural, synthetic and olfactory. Let's start with natural indicators. Indicators derived from natural sources are known as natural indicators. For example, we are using litmus paper which is formed by lichens. Then your turmeric, it's also a good indicator. Now you can turmeric can change its color when they are dissolving. They can add in base. At home activity you have to try with this. You can use red cabbage juice, which is also a very good indicator, which changes its color in acidic and basic. Similarly, here I am giving you one example, hydrangea plants, which is having very peculiar characteristics, that the flowers will be blue if the soil is acidic, and if the soil is basic, then the flowers will be red. Isn't it great? Now, similarly, the second one is olfactory indicator. Olfactory means related to smell. So these indicators change their smell in presence of acid or base. This activity also you are going to do at home fun activities. Now, the next one is synthetic indicators. Synthetic indicators are prepared in laboratories, and here I am giving you very two important examples, that is phenolphthalein and methyl orange. Phenolphthalein itself is colorless, but when you will add this in your base solution, it turns to pink. But in acidic it remains colorless. That means phenolphthalein changes its color from colorless to pink in basic solution, and it remains colorless in acidic solution. So as it is changing its color in basic, it is known as basic indicator. While this methyl orange itself is orange in color, but in acid it turns to red, and in base it turns to yellow in color. Now, at this note, we have to summarize what we have learned till now with the help of this difference, acids and bases. Acids sour in taste, bases bitter in taste. Acid turns blue litmus red, while base turns red litmus blue. Acid change methyl orange to red, while in base methyl orange changes to yellow. Phenolphthalein remains colorless in acid, while phenolphthalein turns pink in base. Acid do not give you soapy touch, while bases are soapy to touch. Hydrogen ions are released outside in acids, while in bases hydroxide ions are very common. Now, in next lecture, we are going to start with the new topic, that is chemical properties of acids and base. But before that, here is your fun activity. You have to do two fun activities tomorrow. Tomorrow you are going to prepare your own turmeric indicator paper. Just you have to prepare a paste and apply it on the strips of paper, let it dry, and use these strips in various solutions. Just take your soap solution, detergent solution, your shampoo, baking soda, and just dip the strips and see the color changes. Your second activity is from your textbook, page number 18, activity 2.2. And instead of HCl here, you can use lemon juice, and instead of NaOH, you can use washing clothes solution. Now, after this video, you are going to write your notes, whichever there are in the PPTs. Prepare your notes, and after the second lecture, I am going to upload the worksheets. Solid, and thank you. Have a nice day.